All right. So, in this latest season of Evil, we find your character Cheryl forbidden from entering her daughter's household due to her dedication to the literal devil. How is Cheryl handling the increasing distance between herself and her family?
Not well. I believe that Cheryl's in this for the long game, and that she has her family's interests at heart, that she wants to protect her daughter and her grandchildren. And the only way she can do that is by infiltrating this dark world. Not to say she hasn't gotten some goodies from the dark world. She has gotten a sense of empowerment and talents that she never knew she had. Power is really important to her,
Mhm.
at kind of whatever cost. But I think this new wrinkle, obstacle that now she's been banned from seeing her family is the deal breaker. She
Yeah.
is now, I think, going to be, a thorn in Leland's side, I think.
And, speaking of Leland, in previous seasons, we kind of saw Cheryl and Leland getting along. There is a little bit of a rivalry, but now they are really quite overtly working at odds in terms of manipulating the world around them for their own benefit. Talk about exploring these new dynamics with other fellow really complex characters like Leland, but, anyone else in the ensemble, really.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure Leland is aware that I'm going to be turning on him, and I
Mhm.
don't want to give too much away. There's again, Cheryl is getting a lot of goodies from this. I think
Yeah.
she would like to take over, be in the most powerful position of the dark side.
Mhm.
Um, but if it's going to in any way hurt her grandchildren or her daughter, she will do something else. I mean, that is, I think, the bottom line.
Yeah.
I think Leland has found a real foe with her, a real, equal kind of,
Mhm.
uh, I think, power. And I think that he's going to be, yeah, he's really met his match, I think.
Think so. And Cheryl is quite formidable, but she has been facing, glass ceilings and just evidence of the patriarchy, even in the world of the dark magic. But to your point, what will these hurdles do anything to kind of stop her from doing not just the devil's dirty work, but mostly her own?
I think she is very focused on these hurdles. I think
Mhm.
she wants to bring down the patriarchy. I'm not sure she was so aware that the patriarchy was even worse in the satanic world. She had to deal with it in the normal world
Mhm.
and enough. And I think that she thought, if I get enough power, I won't have to deal with this bullshit anymore. And unbeknownst to her, she's now literally has to stoop and crawl in her office because there's a literal glass ceiling that is she's going to have to bust. So I think this is going to become her mission. I mean, she's already organizing with the women, the other women. I think that, yeah, I think that she wants power at whatever cost at this point, except for the cost of her grandchildren and granddaughter, or daughter and grandchildren.
Yes. So season four just kind of kicked off, but how would you describe Cheryl's overall arc as a character over the last three seasons up until this point?
I think Cheryl has had a lot of bad experience with men, bad experiences with men. She was a kind of rock and roller, kind of a groupie back in the day, and I think she's experienced some abuse. I think that she is, she loved, in some ways, she loved the romance with Leland because he was kind of this wild guy, and
Mhm.
she loved that adventurous guy. But then when he dumped her in the way he did, that was a turning point for her. That was, okay, I'm done. I've dated demons worse than you, and watch out, motherfucker. If I can say that on this, you can edit that out. Watch out, because you've just crossed the wrong bitch. And I
Mhm.
think and then, it's infiltrating. It's about power for her. It's about doing whatever she needs to do to gain power over Leland. And then when she realizes, oh, it's not just Leland that I'm going to have to take on, it's this entire dark, dark, evil patriarchy that I've been sort of, enabling and been a part of, and I've got to now take this down. So she has a lot to do, I
She's
think.
busy. That's for
She's very, very busy. Yeah, yeah. But not to say again that she hasn't done a lot of evil shit. I mean, she put her daughter's husband on a shelf and
sure.
was aiding in draining his brain fluid and other fluids, blood, uh, because she doesn't really like him. And she thinks, well, this will keep him away from, we're not killing him.
Yeah.
Just keep him away from my granddaughters, who I think, he's a bad influence and he's a loser of a husband. And yeah, so why not put him on a shelf for a
Yeah.
while?
Yeah. That's probably a lot of people's, they'd love to do that. So
They would dream to do that. Yeah, exactly.
exactly. What are some of your favorite scenes to film, whether it be past seasons or this current season?
I have loved anything I do with Leland, of course. I love, he's such an incredible actor. Of course, Katya, playing all my scenes with Katya. I adore her. She's an extraordinary actress. I didn't do much with Mike and Asif, although I loved them. I guess my favorite have been, if I had to choose, I loved working with the monster, my boss.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in monsters. I don't think Cheryl believes in literal monsters. But
Mm-hmm.
what I love about the show is it doesn't really come down on either side of that. It doesn't really answer those questions. You
Yep.
can make your own mind. I think Cheryl sees the essence of people.
Mm-hmm.
She's gained that gift as part of the dark side. One of the strategies she's learned is how to read people's auras. So she can see a monster essence
Mm-hmm.
other people can't, right? So that's been really fun. How she's been navigating that new talent, and also how does she deal with this monster who is disgusting, but also she wants something from. She wants promotion. She wants
Mm-hmm.
power. So that's been really fun, how to play those scenes as if it wasn't. I mean, it is in her mind a monster, but not literally a monster.
Yeah, for sure. And since we're on the topic of monsters, the show has really been stepping it up with different creatures, different monsters, and the demons are pretty creepy looking. Do you ever get spooked or find it hard to just shake off a long day of filming? I feel like I'd be looking in corners. Um,
I do. I've always looked in corners, so it's nothing new for me. No, here's the thing I love about the show. I don't like violence. I don't like horror, really. I don't like gore and blood. And what I love about this show is that it dances in that,
mhm.
all that, but there's always humor
Yes.
following it. So if I have to do this during a scary moment, um, I can let go. I can reveal my eyes again because
Mhm.
momentarily, because it's going to be funny.
For
There's
sure.
always humor. So monsters floss their teeth, or they actually dance the floss, or they do something like, hand me a back scratcher and say, scratch my back. And
Mhm.
it's disgusting, but it's really funny. So I think the humor helps me a lot.
Big time. The Evil Ensemble really works well to entertain, frighten, and provide humor to audiences. What are some moments between the cast that were most memorable for you in terms of just having a good time, good connection with your castmates?
Uh, well, it's hard to say because so much of the scenes are fraught with so much tension and conflict. So doing the scenes, I'm thinking about with Katya, they're not they're fun because it's great
Mhm.
challenging work, and she's so good, and we just was like playing tennis with a pro, a real great pro. And how I feel about working with Leland. I guess the scenes with the girls are really fun, I would call more fun, uh,
Mhm.
because I don't have a lot of conflict with them. They're just incredibly fun and great actors, and there's usually a lot of comedy there.
Mhm. The cast seems really close. Is there anyone that you wish you could have shared more scenes with?
We are really close. I guess Mike and Asif. Yeah, I didn't really get to do much with them. And every time I did, it was like, this is so great. Uh, but yeah, most of my storyline has been with Leland and Katya and the girls. I also loved working with Andrea Martin. She's incredible. So that would have been more fun, a lot more fun to do more with her too.
Awesome. We've talked about some memories, things that you've enjoyed filming. Are there any mementos that you took home from your time working on the show? There were a lot of cool artifacts and, little niche items throughout the show that I feel like be cool to just kind of sneak off with.
I never got any. I'm thinking about my Eddie doll would have been fun to take home, but then also maybe too creepy to
That would
take.
be great.
I'm not sure there's anything that I have from the evil set. Yeah, I don't normally do that. I don't normally like steal from sets. So, yes, I guess that hasn't happened in my past, but dang, that would have been a good idea.
I know
But no,
sometimes, if there's something really, really impactful, props will let it go. No stealing
yeah, no, I
required.
do have some costume pieces that they let me have,
Mhm.
and that's really fun. There, Cheryl's taste is a little more rock and roll than mine is, a little more, how do I say, a little more leather than than I normally do. But it's, someday maybe I'll wear some of this stuff. I don't know.
Halloween, maybe that could work.
Halloween, yeah, exactly. But she's very hip. I
She
just think
is
hipper than I am, maybe at heart.
hipper than me. I know that much.
Hipper than me.
Many viewers have been advocating for another season of the series. Where would you like to see Cheryl go if you could script another season for her without giving too much away?
I really can't give anything. I don't want to give anything away. Um, I would just love to see them all keep going, doing what they're doing. I want to be very cryptic and just say that. Yeah.
I like it. That's a good way. It's very on brand to just be cryptic with
Yeah,
any
exactly.
of this. Um, what other projects have you been busy working on?
I did my own play. I wrote a play and I performed in it this summer with a young actress named Georgie James. And we're looking to do that in New York, off Broadway somewhere, or LA. So that's been ongoing. Uh, what else have I been doing? Oh, I did a play recently in off Broadway called The Russian Troll Farm, written by Sarah Gancher, all about the actual Russian trolls that changed the that moved the election for Donald Trump and against Hillary Clinton. And that was fascinating. I played a KGB officer, former KGB officer, who is now the head of this one department in the actual internet research agency that exists in Russia
Mhm.
that had employed hundreds, if not thousands, of people to send out disinformation to help Donald Trump.
Mm.
That was really, timely and scary. And it was billed as a comedy, but honestly, it was, when it was written closer to 2016 and 2018, sorry, I'm blanking. The election of
What?
2016,
It would be, oh goodness, where's my brain now?
I know. I'm the first time when Donald Trump won
Yeah.
against
I
Hillary
think I think it was 2016. It's been a long road for all of
Clinton.
us.
Yeah. It just seems like, gosh, was it that long ago? I guess it was 2016. Anyway, the fact that trolls and disinformation are happening even more today, it made the play much more scary and less funny, I
Yeah,
think, than anyone thought. But yeah, that was a great experience to do that.
it was. And is that coming out now and kind of getting more, I guess, eyes on it? That's very topical, I'll say.
Ah, it's really topical. Yeah. I don't know if she wrote it right in 2016, but she wrote it, certainly between 2016 and 2024. And
Mhm.
the fact that it came out, it was produced in New York. It was produced online during the pandemic. And then
Okay.
its first real production in a theater
Hmm.
this past February.
Okay. That's pretty brave to put that stuff out there. I mean, it's needed, but
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We had one woman there who was a Trumper who just said, these are all CIA, lies. And, it was like, actually, we are the thin line between what is the truth and what is lies, what are lies. It's just gotten so crazy. And the fact that we were exposing truth and this woman called it some sort of conspiracy was against, I don't know. Anyway, it's a wild time.
Absolutely. Um, what would you like to say to any fans and supporters of your work? There is a very, vocal and passionate fan base for Evil, and just fans throughout your really illustrious career. So anything that you'd like to say to those of us out there?
Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting all over the last 4 seasons. And I think it's because of all of you that we got to go 4 seasons. So yes, would we like more? Of course. But it's been a glorious ride. And I have loved bringing Cheryl to life. I just think she's one of the most complex, funny, fascinating, whack jobs I've ever played. And I've played a lot of crazy people, but I just have such a fondness in my heart for her.
She's a great character. Everybody on that show, yourself included, of course, are great performers, great characters. Everyone is so complex, so we appreciate any insight here as well.
Yeah, well, Robert and Michelle King, I give, and the writing staff, I give such credit to. They just create the most complex, funny, always funny,
Mhm.
moving, crazy, unexpected, original characters. And I did an arc on the good fight and an arc on the good wife. So I've always felt so happy to be in their hands because I know it's going to be full of surprises and challenges that I love. And they're also very feminist gaze. It's very female gaze, both of
Yep.
them, a feminist, strong feminist gaze with them. And I so appreciate that as well. I
Yeah.
mean, who else comes up with a literal glass ceiling in their show?
It's funny. I think if it wasn't executed so well, it would feel just a little on the nose, but here it's just like, nope, this is perfect. It fits.
I know, I know. When I first heard, I went, "Ooh, are people going to buy that?" But then you realize you're in this satanic world anyway, where
Mhm.
a so wilder things have happened. So you
Absolutely.
kind of accept it, like the monsters that exist and um, the Antichrist baby that is going to be born, and there's so many potentially far-fetched things that we just accept as complete reality and play it like that. So
Yep.
put it past Leland to have something built like that just to humiliate me,
Oh, of
just to get
course.
me. And
Mhm.
that's why I say, watch out, Leland.